DDIEXPO পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে। আপনাদের সামনে হাজির। প্রধান উপদেষ্টা আমাকে আসতে পারেন কর্মের কাছে আছেন, সেই জন্য ৩৫৩ নম্বর DDIEXPO পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে। আপনাদের সামনে হাজির তাই না? আসতে পারেনি, কর্মে ব্যস্ত আছেন, সেজন্য 350 নম্বর DDIEXPO পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে আপনাদের সামনে হাজির হবে, তাই না? প্রধান উপদেষ্টা মহোদয় আসতে পারেনি, কর্মে ব্যস্ত আছেন, সেজন্য 350 নম্বর DDIEXPO পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে আপনাদের সামনে হাজির হবে, তাই না?
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the last and possibly final time. We don't really know because All Stars, they took out map number 1 on a very leading fashion of a 13-3 scoreline for the BCS Esports Championship DDIEXPO 2026. The entire starting for this entire BO3 series has been absolutely all over the place. But when you look at this second map, this is a map that has been picked up by the members of Exili Esports. So I do believe that they are going to be playing into this with a proper game plan. And knowing the members of All Stars, they have struggled on this map in the past, but knowing Kyochin and the way that he plays on that Viper, he could be that X factor for the team that is required to run things away.
And this is going to be a very important game for both sides, and especially Exili. After suffering a loss in that first map, they're going to try their best to claw back through this. Again, these are a bunch of composed players, a lot of experience in that squad, so they're going to try and not let that loss affect them. Just get past it. This is a new map. It's a new day. You got to try and bring your A game to this. Again, it does have a lot of stake for them, especially since they lost that first map. They are going to be on the cliffhanger. So even if you're trying to forget that loss, you can't really entirely take a chill pill, you know? So as we start things off slow, Exili trying to predict if it's going to be an A hit, and I think that gamble is more or less correct as of now, because they have 3 players there, 1 down in mid as the push commences from the side of All Stars. You see these players coming in, the utility is inbound, but All Stars with a couple of kills, they're going to take down Streak and the fade. Trade though from Rosa, trying to go for a third, but not enough. Kyojin will trade him out.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
But no.
Spike planted.
All down to the Vice, who's just got here through the rotation. And all his teammates are gone.
This has just gone from a bad to worse situation as all their players now in a little bit of a tough spot. Now it's his turn to just really break their way forward. I don't know, like Exili, I don't think he has much of an opportunity to do much here. Jump spot over onto 1. Reload's gonna give away his position as well. This is just a gone case for him. 3 players up and ready, up in arms to go in for an instantaneous swing, and it's gonna be Zombie here, ladies and gentlemen, to go in for that final pickup. 0-1 on the scorecards. It's All Stars. They're starting off map number 2 in a very similar fashion.
Yeah, All Stars have been riding that momentum, and they don't want to slow down, even though we had a bit of a pause, a long break. And what that really does is that breaks the momentum for a lot of the teams. They were in that flow state, and having a long pause. This is something that a lot of teams do, take manual tech pauses to break down the momentum of your opponents. And that seems to have no effect on All Stars. They're maintaining their fast pace. They're maintaining the energy that they brought in during the ending of that first half. The first map specifically. So right now they're going to carry the momentum. They've got the money, they've got the weapons. Half buy is in the cards as they're rushing towards his A side. A lot of players from AD are available though. The Wayne Dash comes in, and Udet is going to be good for 1. They're trying to go for follow-up, trying to get deeper into the side. No kills coming in just yet. Still up 4v5. They're going to take a little chill pill and slow things down. As we see the rotations coming in. Udet waiting for a pick, but here comes these players from the other side. Hermione good for 1, the follow-up. Solo trying to make a difference is not going to be enough. He's going to be taken down. And
Spike
again,
planted.
all down to the Vice.
It's all coming down to the last couple of players every time. I don't know. This game has just started off with the wrong foot for one of the sides, but then again, it's just been the pistol round and of course the anti-eco. So let's see where this is going to be pushing forward. It's Exili. They are known to be a team that is the best when it comes down to their buy rounds. But we need to try and get a kill or at the bare minimum. Kyojin's in towards the back, spots out Exili almost immediately and brings him back down. 0-2 on the scorecards as All Stars looking to find a little bit more of an earlier lead here for their team. And looking at their overall buys too, every single player, they're just ready to take these duels and keep it going. The overall setup and what the members of Exili have as well when it comes to their buys, it's not really looking to be its best. This can be a beneficial for them.
But again, as you said, Byron's going to be coming in. They're going to try and make a difference, try and get this first round in grabs. And with that buy coming in, they are gonna take the hands and try to push down this mid side. Udit dashes in,
Why?
but doesn't work out. Early kill in favor of Exili, making this a 4 versus 5. And again, this flank coming in from down the mid area, it might catch them off guard. They are still worried about it. They're not really peeking into these angles as easily.
Portal
All-Stars.
closed.
But Exili, they've taken a lot of space and they don't want to give away, especially with knowing that they're in the lead now, 4 versus 5 situation, that advantage. They don't want to let it go just yet as they're slowly walking in. Follow up there from Rosa. 3 versus 5. Rotations are cut
Spike
off. They're
down,
stuck
B.
around this B main area, but this flank, oh, look at that Omen.
One enemy remaining.
Another kill,
Team Ace.
and it's gonna be Zolo taking down Hermie. First round in favor of Exili. They're on the board.
Yeah, this has just been a little bit much more of a slower take coming out from them. They're trying to rush a lot of their engagements, and those fast rushes can be the thing that is their biggest downfall. But we have been in this place before already, where the members of All Stars have lost out on a little bit more of an opportunity. Oh, sorry, not All Stars. All the members of Exili have lost out on a bit more of an opportunity when it comes down to them just trying to find an overall fight. But All Stars now possibly repeating history once again by being able to take this round. This one round is just so crucial for them. If Exili lose this, the momentum is not going to be looking that clean in their favor. Udit just takes it to the cracks. And it's going to be who missed out on so much. He's going to get spotted. He can't be on Udit. No way, Solo. Oh, God, that is going to sting. That woke me up better than coffee ever would.
He was in there and then he almost got that first kill. He was almost taken down. The TP comes in from both players and then somehow he just teleports to the backside and was still alive for a solid few seconds there. Could have made a difference, but not enough. All Stars with the Byron again, make it count.
Last player standing.
Just counting down on the players of Exili. Shoestring, the only one alive. The Euro gets spun, but he has to fall back into the side. Hermione ready for that headshot. And it's going to be a 3-1 scoreline. All Stars, again, maintain the lead. And them winning on this round definitely sets the tone for the game. Just like that last match, we see All Stars not really bothered, not really deterred by that anti-eco win from the side of Exili. Usually, we've seen in the past, these players from Exili, they utilize that anti-eco, they utilize that buy round to really get themselves back into the game, inject some momentum, and slowly push themselves into the lead. But that's not what's happening here. All Stars know that that's a round that we can lose. No worries about that. The rounds after that, where we are back on the same stage, on the same level, weapon-wise or utility-wise, economy-wise, that's where they're making it count. And right now, with the 3-1 scoreline, they're looking to extend it even further. Even though there's a buy available for Exili, the Wayne Dash comes in, they're gonna take a lot of space, but a very passive approach from the side of Exili. Add to that, 3 players who are in B, so A is pretty much on for the retake.
This is not as expected from members of Exili, especially after what happened in that early fight. We would have expected them to take a little bit more map control, but instead mid-pressure being given a little bit too much predominance here. Watch the you can tell that they're just trying to play for the information now.
Face your fear!
The more that they're going to be able to do, roster's going to be able to take out one first big kill because Kyojin no longer being in towards the side. It's going to be rotation for them. Rose is going to be able to take out a second. They're looking for more. Unit look for the one, but look at it. Really, he shuts down 2, and the last player is going to be none other than Val to try and pick up those fallen pieces, but it's just not going to do much. Sticking down the spike here, the members of All Stars, they just crumbled under the pressure. Kyojin dying is one of their biggest problems there because as long as your Viper stays alive, you're gonna be able to win this. Both of your controllers living is one of the biggest key points that you need to go in for when it comes down to those attacking rounds.
Yeah, all that utility, all that smoke really gave them a lot of space to work with. And Exili allowing that control, or allowing all that utility to give them the cover to get that second round. 3-2. Still All Stars in the lead, but that is gonna deter them a little bit off their track, off the fast path that they have been taken. They are gonna be a little low on momentum. Can they maintain it is the question.
There.
that will be answered in this round. If they can, Exili take it to a 3-3 and uplift their momentum even more. That is one thing that they are desperately in need of right now, is some motivation, is some energy amongst the players, especially as the first round lost, a few rounds lost here in this map. They need that inspiration. And so far, it's working out, but unless you did, you might have something to say about that. As he gets the first kill, Spikeman is gonna go down. 4 versus 5 retake in favor of All Stars. We're gonna see some Omen trickery happening there in the site. Meanwhile, a flank coming in. The flanker is getting flanked down mid. He's gonna get the ball up. Rosa uses the ultimate, but
enemy
only
remaining.
good for 1. And the kills just keep coming in favor of All Stars. The spike has been tapped, good for 1, but the trade is instant, and All Stars extend that lead. For a moment, we thought Exili might be back into it, but All Stars, they just switch things up.
This instant change in the overall pressure is what you would expect from the members of All Stars. All their players, they're just constantly ready to take engagements. While for the side of Exili, I have yet to see them really playing for the trades in a lot of those fights. I think you can see that as well, Kirito, that a lot of the engagements that Exili are taking are just solo 1v1 duels or 1v2 fights. None of them are really peaking together as a team where they're gonna be able to catch themselves.
And they're not setting each other up for those fights either. Even if you go for the solo fights, you might be a bit more advantageous if you had some utility, but looks like maybe he doesn't need any utility at all. He's good for 2. Can he get a 3? No. Kyojin will deny him that opportunity. But again, this A-side reinforcement has arrived. All players from the position here, but Shusri, he's trying to make some magic too, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to connect. Up close first moment. Oh, in the face of his counterpart, but he doesn't find the shot to connect to the Viper. Deactivated. Kyojin's ready for it. Zolo with a quick trade, but he gets traded himself down to a 2v1. Pathus and Hermione, they're still in this A side. His rotation is here, but they're going to be making their way towards B. Utility is active from Vice, and he reads that. He realizes that. They're trying to catch him off guard, but they realize he has a spike, but they go back to A. Mind games, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they knew that this was gonna happen. That's why Hermione just crawled his way in towards
30
the A side
seconds
just
left.
to hear the rotational sounds coming
Spike planted.
from Exili. But for now, this is just an impossible situation. How do you retake with a classic? You have to be Prime EA to do something even better than this.
If you can catch a timing with the the Viper's dead. There's no Viper wall.
Yeah, exactly.
You can try to pick up a gun, but I don't think there's any coverage. They're gonna be Crossfire holding this spike together, so there's really no attempt. He's gonna be crossing in front of this player.
Hey, no, Zabi!
there.
Zabi!
There.
Zabi!
Oh! And he gets it!
Bro,
Hermione!
Ultimate BM.
Hermione gets the knife. And it was the first knife of the day, right?
The first knife of the day.
From Hermione, nonetheless.
I mean, it's him sending a message, right? You gotta love it when you see it.
I might be a chill guy until you turn your back on me. When you do that, the knife is going to be coming, and All Stars extending the lead even more by 3 rounds. 5-2 is the scoreline, and somehow Exili still maintaining their economy. They have a bunch of ultimates to work with. They can try and go for a proactive play here, but no, there's just gambling on the B side. But again and again, All Stars just keep hitting this A side. Every time, honestly, every time they hit B or win A, they struggle. They win the round, but they struggle. But now they're gonna be straight up hitting A again. The Vice utility will isolate Kyojin, but he's not worried. He's still got teammates to back him up as the spike plan goes down. Side control established. 5v5 retake. A lot of ultimates on the card. This could get chaotic.
Hermione! Oh, look at Hermione! This is the clutch master of the team for a reason. Hermione just playing his timeout properly. Needs to make a run for it. Close on the angle. The fight needs to be pressure, but Exili, just faster peak. Just walks into the awaiting arms of Hermione to make sure that he is brought down. 3-5 now, ladies and gentlemen. As Exili, they're still fighting it.
Yeah, they're trying to close that close that gap, and they're ever so close to doing it. Only 2 rounds is what separates these teams. And Exili, again, they thrive in these moments. All the small victories is what fuels their momentum and fuels the energy within these players, within this squad. And they can slowly work their way to trying to close things out. Again, you have to remind yourself, this is do or die. They lost the first map. If All-Stars take the second one, it's all over. All the hard work, all the practice, all the matches we've been through in the online phase, the qualifiers, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be disqualified. Just shy of the grand finals, so they're gonna give it their all, and we're already seeing the kills going in favor of Exili. Kyojin is gonna bite the dust as they're slowly trying to push into the B side. No one's really gonna be there. Everyone's coming in from mid to try and deny the spike plant. The trades are gonna come in. Bucky gets through. Udet gets two. Rosa finally trades him, but still a 2v3. The kills go in their favor. The Bucky play. How does he get two? The second one should have been an instant trade, but the jump might have just thrown off the spray from the player.
I want to say something so badly, but I know I shouldn't say it on broadcast. I'm pretty sure that no, I will not say it. Not in a public setting.
Whisper it to my ear. Whisper it to my ear.
Now we wait.
Oh, dude.
Launching forward.
Dude, how?
Launching
You
forward.
of all people are thinking that?
Hey, considering
That-
who Unit
you're-
is, I'm
Dude.
telling you, Unit's just one of those players that can just get away with stuff like this and no one else can do it. If I ever did that, my opponent's just gonna shoot me out of the
They're gonna show up in your house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Give me your computer.
There.
What you hiding down there? Udet, he just does that every now and then. That's just a regular weekday for this guy. But a 3-6 scoreline, 3-round gap, All-Stars, it's a lot closer than before, but still, you can see in these individual moments, All-Stars are just so far ahead of Exili in a lot of these moments. Exili, even in numbers, even in an advantage, even with buy rounds and more utility, they just seem so disorganized.
Horns activated. Well tricked.
All-Stars just, with very basic communication and very basic set pieces, can completely dismantle the squad.
Spike planted.
Spike plan is going down.
It's just, it's odd. Look at their overall utility. All of their players are just playing so stiff.
Face your fear!
Dynamic sideline. But finally, we do see some signs of life being breathed into them.
One
a very
enemy remaining.
fast, systematic retake coming in with all of their players jumping in together. And now it's going to be one and only Val to try and go in for the duel, but it's just not going to happen. As soon as we were talking about Exili, they just light themselves back up. And the scorecard is now lit up by their scoreline. 4-6 now is
Thrifty.
clawing their
Go,
way
go,
back
go.
in towards this game, and there's only 2 rounds separating them from an equalizer. They need to get these two to make sure that they're in it to try and win it as soon as this round swap comes in. Because don't forget that the members of All-Stars, they have a double controller setup, and they're able to do miracles like this.
They're definitely going to be a lot more dangerous when the side swap happens. So, Exili, it's critical that they get as many rounds as possible. They've already made a lot of
Now we
progress,
wait.
making this a 4-6 scoreline. A lot better than that first game that we've seen down on Haven. But still a lot left to be done. And looks like All-Stars are going to go back to their default of that A rush. All 5 of them stack outside this A side. Again, very weak from the side of Exili. I feel like even after all these hits, they haven't really developed any counter strats to deny this entry. Nothing on the initial one, nothing on the retake. There's just no change in how they play to deny this. Udet, again, holding a very proactive angle.
My
First
ult's
kill
not
though
ready.
does go in favor of Exili.
Bring
45
them down.
situation. Advantage on their end. As players are gonna arrive to try and go for a quick retake. No one's flanking, no one's holding mid. The All-Stars are really gonna have to focus on this gunfight. As they slowly retake, the players are gonna try and come in. Spike's not gone down yet. What's happening?
Cutting through.
Line them out! I'm going in!
The convergence now being utilized. Brute force their entry in. Kyojin's going to be able to find one in. It's the Fiasric who does get something to his name, but even then, it's just not going to be enough. All the
Spike
players
planted.
swarmed in. And Zolo, he does have the perfect flank to play for, but the thing is, one flank alone is not going to be able to win them much. He needs a multi-kill to happen.
Last
Missed out on the
player.
shot! Solo! He made a meal out of that one. And with that fall, and a perfect smoke also being placed, there's no way that Exili is going to be able to run this one for free. That'll be able to isolate out one of these players, but as long as Batus is alive, All Stars, they will not fall.
You guys are aware of the curse of Nico? The guy who can't shoot anyone from behind. He's a very reputed CS player, very famous. And the thing about him is that he cannot shoot anyone from behind. Zolo might be our Nico. Even that's saying a lot. I'm comparing him to Nico. Nico by far is not a shy player. He's not, he's a big deal. So Zolo should be like, I'll take it, honestly.
Bro's out here to create beef with everyone, it seems. The members also.
Oh, he hurt me!
Rising up to the challenge. Solo
Don't
just
miss
gonna be
the spike
running
down.
wild on this one.
Last player
Not being
standing.
Fast, as all of their players are just running everything down. 7 to 5 pretty much is a guarantee at this point. Wow, just instantly shuts everything down. 5%, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. Switching sides.
We're gonna end the first half right there. Side swaps are gonna come in. Exili now on the attacking side. And that is where I want to see what they can come up with. The double duelist composition with the Fade, with the Omen, could be really dangerous if they can execute well. If the Neon and the Yoru can really dash into side as one and support each other. If we can see some good utility coming in from the Omen, if we see Zolo coming in with good blinds, good smokes to really allow these players to find space deep inside the site, that is what I want to see from Exili. That is one of the strengths that the composition provides for them to close this gap out. And if they win this pistol, 6 to 7, I did it again. 6-7 scoreline, they can close it out to a 7-7 if they win out the anti-eco, which shouldn't be that big of a competition. But if they win this, it's 6-7.
Shut up. There's a reason why I should never give you a mic ever again. I need to file a restraining order after this somehow. But
who's gonna restrain the ladies from me?
This guy's way too confident for his own good.
Fake teleport.
It seems as though the entire day is getting to us, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mind him. It's what? How late into the night is it? It's almost 10 p.m. Thank you all for stopping on by and watching this entire game with us.
It's time for dinner. Little baby Aggie has got to go home for dinner. Anyways, all good. Slower approach from the end of Exili. A really refreshing change to see, to be honest. We see Exili in the past. Whenever they're down and under, they go into the side swap, they pick up the pistols, and they feel like a change of momentum is what's going to help them. They rush into a side, but this time, taking a slower approach, trying to find
30 seconds left.
Trying to walk into the A side in a more slower approach.
Spike down B.
Should have been working out, but you then just snaps to the heads of these two players and completely dismantles any push. Rosa denying the denial himself as Zolo comes in to join him himself, as they're trying to push towards the side, trying to get this spike down. They will be successful. So just barely in time.
One enemy remaining.
But the timing of that execution, the timing of the retake completely denies Exili any moment to breathe. Spike went down, and so did their retake.
Such a good overall execution coming out from them as well. All of their players just running everything down together. This overall set play and setup is just so well planned out from them. But the thing is, the members of All Stars, they're just in such good form. Every single player has been in that perfect form. None of them are really afraid to take all those fights. The way that you did, it's just working well.
Bring them down.
পরেই তো দেখা যাচ্ছে যে অলরেডি ফার্স্ট ওপেনিং কিল পেয়ে নিতে পারলো। এটাই তো দেখা যাচ্ছে যে এখন মেইন প্রবলেমটা হলো যে from the side of Exili, they're yet to be able to take a proper entry into the side. And now I don't know, they have to go through so much to try and break into this.
One enemy
still
remaining.
looking towards the side of the Vice. He's just not gonna fall. How do you get past Valk here in a situation like this? Pretty much an iron wall inside of the site. Nothing that's being held up is going to be able to break through this. All Stars. দেখে বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে তাদের আইডিয়া নেই যে কিভাবে সাইটের ভিতরে ঢুকবে because for now they're just trying to rush in rush ছাড়া আর কিছু দেখছি না তাদের থেকে একটা proper plan একটা proper set play বা map control-এর জন্য খেলা they're not going in for anything different.
Flash placed. Flashing. Retrieving flash.
একটু ধৈর্য একটু পেশেন্স ইজ হোয়াট উইল পে অফ ওদের একটু টাইম নিয়ে আশেপাশে ম্যাপস সাইটটা অবজার্ভ করতে যেভাবে প্রথম should execute a lot of these rounds but again mid rush দিয়ে শুরু করতেছে will get one but the instant trade from the opposition 4 versus 4 meanwhile should speak arekta kill but they don't read this look at this flank look at this positioning Kintu Spectre headshots. There is a follow-up. He gets the dink. Headshot to leg. He will be low. And another one. Eto sharp.
Thorns activate.
With the Spectre Taubar. Vandal na. Phantom na. It's the SMG.
Oh no.
And Kyojin, this flank. Arekta flank. Pichon dike. They are aware.
They're
not aware. Onno dike taকাচ্ছে.
Spike down
Onno
A.
dike তাকায় আছে. Shuswik is now aware.
He is not
One
aware.
versus
He has
two.
no idea যে কোথা থেকে আসছে পারে এখন দোনো প্লেয়ারের দুই সাইডের মধ্যে
Aware,
doesn't
but
even have the
aware.
spike and there's also
Oh,
a
the
corner
timing,
box
the
that he had
timing,
to.
the timing.
This is so bad. This has got to be going for
30
bad
seconds
worse
left.
because এখন একটা প্লেয়ার কর্নারের মধ্যে অলরেডি আছে স্পাইকের আশপাশে
I don't think he cleared that.
he is not clean.
I got the spike.
Yup, he's got. No one's going to be peeking into this. That's actually so smart. The members of All Stars, Kyotaka needed that and they're going to be playing fully for this game. He has absolutely no room waiting for them. And Valve just gets away with daylight robbery. Spectre দিয়ে দুইটা প্লেয়ারকে মারা মেরে তারপর আবার এত ক্লোজ অ্যাঙ্গেলের মধ্যে খেলা on such low HP. If there was a spam, this was all but over.
মনে হচ্ছে they didn't have guns in their hands. Spectre their point. It was এমন close range নড়াচড়া করে রান
I'm out of here.
না ব্যাপারটা ওরকম না এটা সলিড স্প্রে কন্ট্রোল করে হেডশট করে ডিম করে he got those 2 kills no trades they have the gun
That's the confidence of the players of All Stars.
and এখন literally নাই all sheriffs
Bring them down.
All have to consider, but only Viper Spinner কারণে তো আরো slow down হবে তাদের overall pushটা. They invested a lot of utility to try and break into this. They do have the Fate Haunt to just give them a tiny bit of space, but the thing is, এই overall execute করতে গেলে তাদের util তো লাগবে, util ওই level time তাদের. Without a Fate Dog, without clearing out a lot of these corners, they're running into this blind. And once more their overall setup, they are going to fall, but instead it's going to be Zami who's going to be the first one to take the engagement and immediately fall over.
Toxin screen
Not
down.
really in a good spot for this overall, but look at
Kyojin.
Kyojin.
They're
He's
gonna
playing
flash
with
through this.
fire with this one on a close quarters fight. It's gonna be Rosa who's gonna be the first one to take the engagement slide now. আর সাথে সাথেই তো চলে যাচ্ছে। But this is so well done.
Spike
Out,
down
Marco,
A.
it's all up to Kyojin. It's gonna be good for the two, but he's not gonna be able to find the third. Even then, 3v2 situation এখন ম্যাপের মধ্যে দোনো সাইডে ঠান্ডা।
30 seconds left.
রাস্তা ধীরে Zolo with a sheriff already অনেক ভ্যালু পেয়ে গেছে দুইটা kill picks up a vandal and they're gonna cool things down আস্তে ধীরে they're trying to push into the side trying to find an
Last player standing.
this
Spike
hole from
down
the
A.
counterpart movement
10 seconds
just
left.
spams away Jane spike to go
I have
back
the
doesn't have
spike.
to take this fight smoke comes in sighted hooks it but they're already ready for him. They're gonna be trying to jump around and have some fun. And All Stars 11 to 5.
11 to goddamn 5.
What did 5 ever do to you? Why you hating on 5, bro? Like a number just. Perakao.
It's late in the night, bro. Don't make me hit you.
It's okay. I'll tell your mom you had work. You weren't out for any other reason. Don't worry. I got you covered.
Oh,
All
God.
Stars 11 round lead Exili stuck at 5 একটা buy round finally পাইছে. They're trying to make it work and push towards the
Toxins going up.
অনেক utility আছে from the sentinel. They're gonna have to break through this. Trying to bait out this utility. এগুলোকে use করে ফেলে they'll have an easier time. সাইটের মধ্যে তেমন কিছু থাকবে না এবং ওরা সহজেই ঢুকতে পারবে. That's the plan. But again, also All Stars being very safe. Tara mid kono not going for any mid lurks, kono A থেকে flank যাচ্ছে না, nothing like that. They're holding steady. They are aware that this is a buy round. Exilir কাছে rifles আছে. They have the same amount of utilities, একই weapons, and they stand a chance of causing a lot more damage. So take it slow.
One of the other problems is that other util নাই enough. You can see যে Viper or Omener কারণে the amount of smokes that All Stars have is just deterring a lot of the over aggressive plays that Exili are trying to make. আর Exiliর কাছে the Udit এর মতো ওয়েলেও না. ওয়েলেটা থাকলে at least তারা Udit আগাতে পারতো সাইডের দিক জন্য, but they can't really do much. The Neon is just
30 seconds left.
telegraphed in the way that you can take these fights, and constantly look at the amount of pressure that they're in. At the util invest করেছে তারা মিডের মধ্যে, but still তারা entry নিতে পারছে না just because they don't have enough fights.
Committing an ultimate now already denied. Solo will be taken care of. Shuspik at a trade antise, but still a 4v4. Spike planted. The ultimate coming in from the buys. Denying the rifle. This is Tao tar kill power cheshte ase, but I don't think it's gonna work. Rosa finds one more, but it's a 2 versus 2 against Hermione and Kyojin. Duijon onek consistent player from the side of All Stars.
Still as well, they still have a fade out to give them a little bit of an advantage. The siege is perfectly
player
utilized, no sound
standing.
whatsoever. They have no idea where Exili is,
Last
though. A
player
little bit of a
standing.
tough spot, but look at Hermione, an instant flick and a slap to the face to take it all the way. 12 to 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Push a button, save the day, easy.
Like, what if Exili pulls something through? What if?
A miracle of the century, 7 rounds consecutively to go into overtime and then play for the third map. এরকম mental থাকলে
ব্যাপারটা অসম্ভব না, কিন্তু সম্ভবও অনেক hard. That's the thing.
অনেক কঠিন।
That's
করা অনেক কঠিন।
অনেক কঠিন. It's not impossible. Definitely all possibility থাকলেও it's doable. And if I had to pick a team to do this, I would definitely say the Exiliর মতো teamই এরকম জিনিস করতে পারবে।
Who's next?
কিন্তু the night that they've had so far, their first map এত বাজে গেছে, have the best mental, have the best team. এই ম্যাপটা running circles around them.
Oh,
What?
no! How does he get away with this?
Spike down
Hermione,
A.
he fights too! He shuts down the star player. This could be all but over. Timing. তাদের হাতে আর নেই. One kill. It's gonna be solo. Has to be the hero for the team. He ran out of bullets in the worst possible time. 4-2. Getting away with
Solo.
murder. The veteran's presence for the team. Taking it over to a 2v2 situation, but it's
Last player
for
standing.
Alagar. What pay nice.
Spike
Falcon's
down
gonna be the
A.
one who steps up to the table. Last one on the flag. It's the kill with a classic. And our
Defenders
next
win.
finalist, ladies and gentlemen, will be none other than All Stars.
And with that, we're gonna have our second team for the grand finals. They are gonna be taking on the side of RUT Team All Stars. It's so, ladies and gentlemen, we have our 2 teams for the grand finals. Ryusei Esports taking on All Stars tomorrow for a best of 5 after a grueling matchup. Grueling first day on the LAN. 2 semifinals, 2 best of 3s. We have our grand final set up for tomorrow. Ebong, it's gonna be a heck of a match. Aajke ja dekhlam, it's definitely one of the ages.